Focus, episode 143, plotting. This is a redo of episode 24, as that seemed to have gone. It seems to have gone missing in YouTube. So plotting, beginning with the end in mind. I write the first chapter because that first chapter has to grip the reader. It has to grip me. It has to set the book up with everything that's going to happen afterwards. It's like the old military briefing style, the 5-paragraph. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them in 3 points, and then the last one is tell them what you told them. So in the first paragraph, you've got to set that. In the first paragraph, first chapter, you have to set the stage for the rest of the book. So I spent a lot of time on my first chapter. I'll go back and rewrite it and do stuff like that just to make sure that it's gripping. I'll write the rest of the book and I'll go back and rewrite the first chapter again. But after I've written that first chapter, then I write the last chapter, because that is where it ties everything together. That's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's where you want to take your readers. So write the first chapter, write the last chapter, go back and keep rewriting the first chapter, write the rest of the book, because that's got all the stuff that will lead you to that explosive conclusion, and then rewrite the last chapter to make sure it matches up with all the stuff you put in the book. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. Publish a book. Move on. I talk about the string of pearls. You have each brain freeze, blank brain. You have conflict and resolution. So each scene is some kind of conflict, some kind of resolution, even if it's just a misunderstanding, even if it's just conversation. Everything else is a transition between those. And people ask for a transition. I'll do a separate episode on what transitions look like and how to smooth the flow of your narrative. But you have these string of pearls. You have all these events that go on in the story. Conflict resolution. Transition as you move into the next scene, conflict resolution, so on. Move on through the story. What I do is, as I have ideas, especially while I'm writing on another book, I'm like, oh yeah, in this next book, I'm going to have to do this. So I'll dive in after the end, because I have everything in a template, right? After the end, I'll write those ideas. So I'll have all these ideas, like, okay, where do I want to put those in? And I'll copy them in when the time is right. I copy in the chapter heading, the formatting. There you go. It auto-populates the table of contents, and I keep writing. So I plot in my head. This is a little bit different than those folks who have to have a detailed plot that then they have to outline, and that's perfectly fine. However you need to do it. I plot in my head. I have the plot, so I know what I need to do, and that's how you can write fast. You need to know what you're going to write in order to get the words down. If you're just sitting there looking at the screen, not knowing what's next, well, words aren't going to come too fast. So know what you're going to write. Do what you need to do to get you to that end state. You know how the book's going to start, and you know how the book's going to end. You know how you want it to end, where, oh my God, people are crying or people are cheering and all the good stuff, because books make you feel something. So how does your book make you feel? That's the ending. Oh man, I want to make them feel this. So yeah, I want cheering. I want them begging for the next book. Exactly. Write that, and then go back in and make the book do that. That's it. That's all there is to writing a story. You start, you end, and all this neat stuff in between, and there you go. Hero's journey. There's a lot of other stuff. Nonfiction's a little bit different, but you want to leave them with a feeling. So this is why I think writing the ending at the beginning is so important for the author. You don't need to be surprised by the ending. You shouldn't be surprised by the ending. If you are, well, holy crap, what are you doing? You're discovering as you write, and you're like, oh, I may have a better ending. And I've changed endings because everything led up to a better ending. But still, I knew where I was trying to go, and that helps. That helps immensely. Because if you wonder, geez, you start hitting a roadblock, writer's block, right? That just means you haven't thought through what needs to happen. Go look at the ending, say, well, this is what needs to happen. So let me chuck that back in there. It helps keep you focused. It gives you the vision and the sight and the road sign saying this is where you need to go. So that's my idea of plotting, beginning with the end in mind. There's a lot of different ways to plot. You have to do what's right for you. This works for me. If you want to give it a try and see it may help you. All right, there you go. 5-minute focus. Peace, fellow humans.